And now we want to bring you up to date on the latest toll on that devastating news out of Texas. 21 people are dead, including 19 children, in an elementary school shooting. The 18-year-old gunman was killed by a border control agent on the scene. And this shooting marks the deadliest elementary school shooting since 2012, when 20 children were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut. President Biden expressed frustration with the current state of the U.S. gun lobby following that shooting.
As a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby? When in God's name we do what we all know in our gut needs to be done? It's been 3,448 days, 10 years since I stood up at a high school in Connecticut, a grade school in Connecticut, where another gunman massacred 26 people, including 20 first graders at Sandy Hook Elementary School. Since then, there have been over 900 incidents of gunfires reported on school grounds.
We also heard, speaking of Connecticut, from Senator Chris Murphy, who gave an impassioned speech in the Senate on this late yesterday. We should mention Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Senators Ted Cruz and John Cornyn still expected to speak at the National Rifle Association's annual convention in Houston on Friday. And Jared, full disclosure for our viewers, we're obviously a financial news network, right? This is not always the kind of stuff that we cover, but at a time like this, when you have an incident that is just so devastating, and we have seen 10 years since Sandy Hook, we just felt like we had to bring viewers the latest and talk about it. Yes,
we do. It's an unspeakable tragedy, and we were talking offline. We talked a lot about this morning, and the trend has been in the unfortunate direction for these shootings, these mass shootings, especially in schools. And an alarming statistic that you found and brought to my attention, Julie, was that school shootings actually killed more children every year than car crashes.
Yeah, well, not school shootings specifically, but firearm deaths generally, yes.
Yes, and the trend, cars are safer now, but the trend is definitely in the wrong direction for firearms. So we just have to acknowledge that for our viewers.
This was some information that came to us from the University of Michigan, which has a research center there on firearm deaths. These figures were for 2020 specifically, I believe, that they were looking at motor vehicle crashes. This is for children ages 1 through 19, and it looks at the commensurate funding into research for each of these areas as well.
Yes, it needs to be done, it needs to be addressed, and hopefully that it will be, and in a productive manner without putting things off, as tends to be the case in these matters.
Yes, as has been the case for far too long.